Hey, this is Reginald Perryman with regiusrealestate.com, and today I will be evaluating a new listing I just got here out in Ypsilanti, Michigan. It's a renovation project. We're going to see if it makes sense to buy for fix and flip or buy and hold for a rental property, potentially Airbnb, or what other uses this property can be used for and its highest and best use, or if it's just ideal for owner-occupant purchaser. So let's take a look at it. Let me pull it up here on the screen. Move me out of the way. So here's the listing here. This is located on 2nd Street in Ypsilanti, Michigan. And it's a 4-bedroom. We're going to look at some photos here. Currently, the seller is asking $63,000 based on the as-is purchase price. So what we're going to do today is we're going to walk through and look at what repairs may be needed for this property, give you a rough estimate of what it would probably cost to rehab and what the ARV is on the property, and see if it makes sense. If you think it's a good investment, just type down in the comments below with the yes or no, or you can put in the comments what you think the highest and best use of this property would be, considering its location. So if you don't know about Ypsilanti, Michigan, you can always just go on Google and get some more information. So one of the things I like to do, especially I tell out-of-state investors to do, is take a look at the area. Let's see what's around it, what the neighboring city is. There's community college, there's Eastern Michigan University. Ypsilanti is actually not far from Ann Arbor, so you have other colleges in the area, and you're not far from Metro Airport here. But what I want to do here is we want to take a look at the street here. So as you go up and down the street, you can see some properties here. You can see what's going on. This is actually our property here that we're going to be discussing today. You can see it's primarily residential for this street here. Not a bad street. And you can see there's several types of homes in the area. Some colonials, you have some ranch style homes here. Now, I don't know how current Google is with this, but there is some new built homes in the area, where actually on the street here, let's go around. Yeah, so this is probably an old Google map here. So let's see if we can see any of the new construction. So we just take a tour around the neighborhood. You can keep up here. So this is 1st Street, so you can call it the new Park Ridge Estates is what it's called. So there's some newer homes that were built just one block over. So it looks like there's probably, I want to say probably, actually, you know what? There's actually more homes than what I've seen here before coming up the street. So yeah, they built a whole, actually it is a new subdivision. Wow. All right, I stand corrected. So I didn't drive down this far. Well, it's a good thing I can go on Google and see it. So this is one of the best tools you can use if you're not in the area and you just want to get a feel for the neighborhood. So how would this new construction, will it have any impact on the market value of this current property? We don't know. We have to look at the data. I don't like to speculate when it comes to real estate investing. I like to invest based on the numbers that I see now. I want my risk to be focused on what the current market value is. Now, if I'm holding a property and it's going to appreciate over time and there's some new development in the area, that's great. But the reason I focus on the current risk is because if you ever get in a situation where you have to sell the property now, you don't want to be underwater because you overpaid up front, assuming that appreciation is going to happen over the next year or so, but you're currently underwater in an investment. You don't want to do that. So let's just take a look here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to run some comps. So we're going to see what the ARV would be like on a property, on a similar property. So I'm going to start here. I'm just going to start here in 2nd Street, Ypsilanti. Actually, I'm going to do one better. Let's do here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a CMA for this property. Just make sure I have the subject information in here. Oh boy, hold on 1 second. Alright, so we're gonna just I'm just gonna do a quick CMA of this property here. This is probably the easiest way for me to do it. I'm gonna make this my subject property. I'm gonna choose my comparables, so I want all my comparables. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm going to choose comparables that are within a distance here. I want active, sold, and I want pending. So we want sold properties because that tells us like our baseline on what properties have sold for in the past. Pending kind of gives you a direction or where the market is going. So for example, let's say all the properties in the past 6 months sold between, I don't know, 150 and 160 in the area, right? So that gives us our basis for what the ARV is. But let's say the current pending properties, let's say they were all listed for 175, 180, and they all went under contract within maybe like 10 or 15 days. That tells me there's some change in direction as far as market values, because if they were overpriced at 170 and 180, they probably would have sat on the market longer. So we look at pending sales. Also, we're going to look at active because we want to know what are the competing homes listed for, because that's going to let us know where we fall in the market. Also, how many competing homes are on the market. Because we want to know how much competition we actually have. So I'm just going to do a quick search here. I'm just going to go back. Normally I will only go back 180 days, but due to COVID and there hasn't been a lot of homes listed, I'm going to go back 220 days. I want homes. This home is 1,400 square feet. So I'm just going to search 1,000 maybe to 1,900 and see what comes up, right? And I only want residential homes, right? And then I'm just going to just search here and see exactly what comes up first of all. So we got quite a bit to choose from. I'm going to narrow this down. So when I narrow this down, I'm going to narrow it down based on proximity to the subject. So we're only going to go a half mile out. So here's a quarter mile. We're going to go a half mile out. So what we're going to do is see how many results we have. So we have 18. We have 3 active, 1 pending, and the remainder are all sold properties. So now what I want to do is just look at a quick summary. All right, actually it's 2 active because our subject is one of them. So you can see here, this particular property, it's active for 124.9. This is a brick home. We're going to eliminate that, and I'll tell you why later. It's probably for the obvious reason. So let's say that. So what I'm looking for are frame homes that are similar. So we can see that most of the ARV is higher. Some of these are smaller homes in some cases. Here's one. This is probably, actually it's on the same street, for 165, similar square footage. So we're going to use that one for sure. Here's one for 185. All right, and here's one for that sold for 193. We're not going to use this one, but so what we're going to do is don't want to use that one. Here's one that's on First Street, which is around the corner. It's smaller and it has less bedrooms, so I'm going to show you how we're going to make the adjustments there. Here's one on Second Street, a smaller one that sold for 47. Probably was another as-is sale. Actually, we're looking for the ARV, so let's not consider that one. And then let's look at this active property here. So I'm going to fill these in. And then I have my subject property. Let me make sure that's all in. Okay. So I want to make sure my subject property is removed from this comparable list. So what I'm going to look at is a map. So only one property is north of Michigan Avenue. For this particular area, that's not bad. But all the other properties are within one to probably like 5 or 6 blocks of each other. So we look at some adjustments. I'm just going to do some quick estimates. So let's just say a bedroom for this area is 7,500. Bath is 3,000. Adjustment half bath is 1,500, right? And let me see, I'm just going to put 75 per square foot because we're looking at raw square footage. We already calculated for the bedroom. So what it's giving me is an average price based on the adjustments of about 181, 176. The median on the low end 148. If you can see that, on the high end at 227. I would not invest the flip and base this on the 227. What I'm going to look at is a complete breakdown of comparing these properties. And actually, let me go back just to the comparable page without looking. So let's do a quick walkthrough of each individual property and see how it compares. Now, when I show you the subject property, you'll see the repairs that are needed. We'll point those out. But right now, we're just going to look at the comparable properties that have sold and what we're competing against. Because this is what we want to make our property look like. So a lot of times people just go into a property, they renovate it based on what they feel the property needs. You'll paint it the color you want, you'll do the repairs you want, that's fine. But I want to make this home market ready. And what I mean by market ready is what's common in this market and what's going to help it stand out in this market. So let's see what's sold. So this particular property has a little bit of brick front. Nothing major here, just good hardwood floors. Kitchen is dated, so it's not like a newer kitchen. Bathroom is dated, it's not a newer bath. So those are the major features there. Kitchen and bath, that's where you look for most of your updates at. Nothing really updated. It's an unfinished basement, 1-car garage. They have like the original layout here, and it's just a 3-bedroom for 1,100 square feet. Our subject is over 1,400 square feet. Here's one on First Street, and this particular property sold less than a month ago, well, less than 20 days ago. It was on the market 67 days, originally listed at 105. They dropped the price to 100,000, but then it sold for 104, 450, which is funny. You drop the price for only for somebody to pay close to full price for it. That's another video I'm going to tell you pricing strategy. So let's just take a quick look at this property. Kitchen it's outdated. You can see that some of the countertop was peeling there. Cabinets are decent compared to the other one. These look like they probably were painted. Nothing special though. The bathroom looks updated somewhat. Not the best photos, but they looks like this is definitely not the original bathroom. They painted, carpeted. Looks like some vinyl plank flooring. Nothing really special about this property. And this one sold for $104, conventional sale. This one is right up the street from ours, and this one is so here's why you have to show, if you're listing your properties with the realtor, do not let your realtor just drive past and take a photo out of their window. I don't care what the price point of the home is. For some reason, you'll see realtors, they have a listing, maybe it's below the price point that they normally work, so they won't give it the attention that it needs. You still want to have decent photos. The reason being is because look at this property from the front. Now when you see the property from the back, you're like, oh, wait a minute, the home is a lot bigger than what I thought, right? So when we look at the interior of this home, so it's nice, nothing major. It looks like the kitchen is somewhat updated compared to the other ones. You know, probably fresh coat of paint. Looks like the carpet was clean, doesn't look like newer carpeting. The floors were done, updated, somewhat updated bathroom. Yeah, decent. It's all decent is good. So not going to spend a lot of time. We know that this is a good property, right? Look, but it was listed originally at $147 and it sold for $165, and it was only on the market 4 days. So this is making our, and the square footage is 1,400, but there's no basement. The subject property we're talking about has a basement. So now here's one that sold for $185. Decent property, hardwood floors, fireplace. Let's look at the kitchen and bath. Kitchen it looks pretty nice. Looks like some recent updates here. Now when I say update, we got to keep in mind there's updates, but then we have to factor in the quality of the updates and the materials that were used. So this looks like a little bit older bathroom. So decent house, nothing like really stands out. Bathroom is decent. Basement portion of the basement is unfinished. So here we are, 4-bedroom, 1,500 square feet. Was listed at $177, sold for $185. 2 days on the market, right? And it was a cash sale. Someone paid cash. So all right, so that's enough for the comparable. So we know that the value is there. What would I, if I was to buy this particular property, based on what I'm seeing is $63,000. If I would say my ARV price, I probably would stay somewhere between like the 176 and 180 based on what I would do to the property. So I'm going to go through the photos of the property. I have an idea what it would cost me to completely renovate this property, but I want you guys to comment in the comment section what you think the cost would be. Now keep in mind we're in Michigan, so material and labor may be at a different price point than what you're used to paying. Let's say if you're in California or a different part of the country. There's also things that we do to properties based on our weather conditions, right? So you want to keep that in mind. But let's just look at the property. I'm just going to show you guys some photos here. Let's let the screen load. All right, so here's the front of the property. So we can automatically see you got some porch repairs. You got some brickwork. cement work here done. You may potentially have to pull this completely out and redo it, because there's a small crack in the slab here, so you may just have to replace that entire slab and rebuild it out. You can go back with the same materials, or you can go with a wooden porch here or some other type of material as well. You probably can't see this from the photos, but the siding is going to need some repairs. Basically, you may have to redo the siding, but you can see here, this is what I was saying with the front porch. So this is cracked. I would just redo it all together, especially if, you know, the house is listed at 63, you're looking at 180 or so ARV. So you can see the siding here. Here on the property, you can see all of this needs siding, painting, so you have to replace some wood. You're going to need all new windows on the sides here and everything. You can see that. You can see here, this is the ceiling to the front porch, so all of that needs to be replaced, all the wood there. So these are the pictures that you don't normally see when people are marketing properties online. I like to show investors as much information up front, especially if you're an out-of-town investor, because we want you to see as much information, as many details and all the little nuances of the property as possible before you submit an offer, because the more you know, the easier it is to transact business. So let's look in the rooms here. The flooring, you're going to have to redo your flooring. So you can see here, there was just your basics. They had recently painted not too long ago. You can see your bathroom, so you're going to have to redo all of this. That was just, the workmanship was not great there. Probably keep the tub and the toilet. Probably just update the sink. You can see the work around the window that needs to be redone there. Sink and toilet's decent. I would redo the flooring. Looks like the drywall repair wasn't done right, so you can probably keep that. Kitchen, there was an attempt, the previous buyer was attempting to redo the kitchen, but you probably can get away with this this sink and a countertop, but I would just probably go through and just start this project over completely. So here's your steps here, you know, basic stuff, painting. Here's the upstairs bathroom. Completely redo this. You can probably keep the sink there, depends on your taste. This was a project they were working on, just didn't finish. So you got your bedrooms here. You got flooring. This is the third bedroom. Of course, you can see that. Let's see here. All right, so let's go back. So you got a window. Of course, like I said, you're gonna have to replace all the windows. The fourth bedroom. So you can see here, someone just did a shabby patch job on the drywall, but nothing really major. I would just go through wherever there was a drywall work done, I would just replace it. This is headed back downstairs. You can see here, there's some work needed. It already has glass block windows, which is good. The basement wall there underneath the steps. This is the basement, one of the rooms in the basement here. Basement floors, you got a number of options with the basement floors there. The drywall down here is pretty decent if you want to keep it up and just repaint it. Or you can just gut the basement and build out and frame it out how you want, because it's already sectioned out. You got a nice furnace, hot water tank. You have the backyard here on the rear of the home, so you're gonna have to clean this and all the siding, but you have some damaged siding on the property. Again, I mentioned you're just going to need all new windows. I wouldn't try to salvage any of that. So based on just seeing this property, tell me what you think. Estimated repairs and everything. We want to kind of come up with pricing. Again, when we look at the ARV on the property, again, I mean, you have some investors that would see the 227 based on the adjustment, and this is because of the square footage and things of that nature. But I would say maybe like the 170, 175, if depending on the quality of work and the type of upgrades I would put in. But at 63,000, you put the money into it and you resell it. And some of these properties, like I said, sold in 4 days. So let me know what you think. Put your comments down in the comment section.